Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War was released just months after the pandemic. The game needed to live up to its predecessor, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, that did 600 million in sales, 100 million more than Black Ops 4, which came out the year before. In today's video, we're going to find out if it really lived up to the hype. Cold War, which was released November 2020, came out at a crucial time in gaming. Due to the pandemic, many people, including myself, spent the majority of their time inside gaming. Meanwhile, Call of Duty had to deliver with a good title because there were more eyes on the scene than ever. The game in its first year did $700 million, blowing the last Black Ops game out of the water. But how did the community react? The game was liked by many, with its time to kill being increased from Modern Warfare 19. It was favored by players who wanted more skillful gunfights. But said by many, the game just felt arcadey and cartoony. There was a split divide of people who fell in love with the new colorful look, and others who thought they ruined the game with it shying away from the realism Call of Duty was known for. But I'd rather let the game speak for itself. Let's load it up. We are now on the main menu of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and, off rip, I think this game has one of the best soundtracks ever. I'm going to play my favorite song from the soundtrack in the video right now. Yeah, that shit was fucking awesome. But no, loading up the game, immediately one thing I'm gonna mention here when I get to the menu screen is I really liked how at the time you were able to navigate in between this Warzone and MW19 all through the same menu. As you can see here in a second whenever the game loads, you have this, which used to be Warzone, and then one more to the left would be MW19, but we have the main menu here. I did not install campaign because, it's campaign. It was, a shitty piece of slop, to say the very least, that was put together during the pandemic where people couldn't write and properly do their voice lines all together because they were working from home. But no, let's look at multiplayer first. Off rip, I think it has one of the more basic, memorable menus compared to Call of Duty now. That was like that weird thing that we had in MW3 where it was like 3 rows. But no, very first thing I spot here is Gunfight Tournament. Intel, single elimination 2v2 gunfight tournament with 16 teams in 4 rounds. Win matches to advance through the bracket and earn exclusive rewards. This was my absolutely favorite game mode out of this whole Call of Duty. You were able to hop on with just one homeboy and run a tournament, and it was consistent. Like, just every 3 minutes a new one would start, and it really made people who weren't good enough for actual comp feel like they were playing mistakes. But no, I think the very first thing we need to look at is maps. We have the maps. Armada, Cartel, Checkmate, Crossroads, Garrison, Miami, which is one of my favorite visual maps in all of Call of Duty, in my personal opinion. I'm pretty sure there's a Miami at night map, and that's in my top 5 favorite maps of all time. When it came to maps, this game really delivered. Its unique maps were, just fucking immaculate, and then its remastered maps were even better. And I think they did a great job with Nuketown. They didn't do anything too crazy. They didn't do anything too little. Just perfect, right in the middle, perfect Nuketown. And what defines a Black Ops game is if its Nuketown is good. Now, the Gunfight Tournament maps. Game show. This map was fucking 3-lane hell. And then ICBM and KGB, both kind of similar, just 3-lane hell. Wasn't really fair for either team. Raid. I think they remastered Raid. Out of every map they remastered, I think they got Raid down to a fucking T. I cannot find a single thing to complain about when it comes to how they remade Raid. And Raid is my favorite legacy map. I don't know if that's ridiculous to say. Out of all the maps from old CODs, it's this or Standoff. Then the Pines, which has a really cool arcade that you actually see in story mode, where when you go inside of it, it's just fucking colorful as fuck, and it looks really good graphically. And then Ubon, this map is fucking ass. I really missed the mark on this one. And then Express, I think this game looks oddly like old, or not game, but this map looks oddly old. Like when you go into it, like it seems like you're loading up a BO2 game. Like this map really nailed that aesthetic that BO2 had. Then Apocalypse, which is just one of those like almost Call of Duty Ghost level maps where that shit is just fucking huge. Mansion, another good map. Miami Strike. Okay, I was saying that Miami Strike was a really good map, and then Miami was my favorite. Diesel and Yamato. Yamato is my absolute favorite map from this Call of Duty. Not of all time, from this COD. I just really love this map so much. And then Standoff, another near perfect remaster. And it's a perfect map from when it came out in BO2 to now. Actually, don't take my word on that. I don't know when the fuck this map originally came out, but I just know they did it fucking well in Cold War. Amsterdam. My favorite gunfight tournament map. This map, in my humble opinion, is literally perfect in every way possible. And a little fun fact about Amsterdam, I would play so much fucking Cold War last year that I had to answer a question in a world cultures class about where this place was located, and I literally said Amsterdam because it looked like the fucking Call of Duty map. And then Collateral, Hijacked. I'm almost rediscovering shit in this game. I forgot they redid Hijacked, and you know they did it perfect yet again. Rush was okay. Echelon was also okay. The rest of these maps are really just okay. Like, going through it, Kabluko was kind of ass. But yeah, those were the maps for this Call of Duty. The weapons. Oh, fucking boy. I'm not going to differentiate what came out on release and what came in mid-season and whatever. I'm just going to go through all the guns right now. The XM4. I think is a top 10 AR in all of Call of Duty history, argue with a wall. But then along with the XM4, just a bunch of really great ARs. Towards the end, you could tell that they were, because these were coming in the second year of content, I'm pretty sure, so it's when they had Cold War up, and I can tell towards the end, the Grav and the Vargo are definitely heavily Cold War inspired weapons. Submachine guns, you know, just the basic, just literally the basics. You got the MP5, the AK-74U, MAC-10, LC-10, and PPSH. And, you know, it's just all around just really good guns. Like, I think they really nailed it when it came to sniping. The Pellington, K-Swiss, Tundra, M82, the Zerg, just fucking amazing snipers. Like, they really went to the fundamental core of a Black Ops game, which is sniping, and really fucking nailed it when it comes to the snipers in game. And then pistols, which my favorite Call of Duty gun of all time, the Diamatti. You know, just fucking perfect. And then you got your melees, which you got the size, the machetes, everything else. Camos. Were the camos good? Let's look at the multiplayer mastery. Gold, you know, you can't fuck up with gold. That's nearly a staple to every Call of Duty. Diamond. I think this is one of the best looking diamond camos I've seen, and it was arguably my number 2 or number 1 until I saw BO6 diamond, which was just fucking sick. And then DM Ultra. DM Ultra almost in a way disappoints, because I think when I think of mastery camos, I think of bright colors, and this is just that deep purple that like almost could be mistaken for obsidian if you have low color graphics on. But now this is where they really fucking scored. The zombie masteries. Golden Viper, that's a little bit of a miss, but Plague Diamond, this is the sickest fucking camo in all of Call of Duty history, besides that one fucking diamond camo that was like rainbow in BO3. But besides that, Plague Diamond is fucking sick, argue with a wall. And then Dark Aether, which does everything DM Ultra could have been. And then Store camos, which I have the Gorilla's camo, which is, you know, just fucking awesome. But then also for non-masteries, like, look at this fucking camo, shit's sick. And then now the inevitable cosmetics. The one thing I will always frown upon this COD for is where it really fucking took off the microtransaction hell that we are now in. MW19 was pretty bad, but in this fucking Call of Duty, you can literally be Rambo. Or fuck Rambo, you can literally be Ghostface. You can literally be fucking Ghostface. That shit's insane. And then Speaking of cosmetics, let's go over here to the AK. Holy shit, did they suck up for weebs, and I enjoyed the fuck out of it. This is one of my favorite blueprints, ever. This shit's fucking sick. And call me a nerd, but no, this shit is fucking epic. After being unable to actually find a Nuketown 24/7 match, we're gonna load into some burst bots and discuss how the gameplay genuinely felt. We're doing this on Miami because this is one of my favorite visual maps in this Call of Duty. We're gonna stay sniping for this one. Waiting for the match to start here. We're gonna run the Pellington and the Tundra. First off, I want to discuss movement. It just felt overall clean. This game was a more snappier Call of Duty. Like, if I don't run a Hisense personally, but for people who do, like my friend Vergifies, this game really felt clean. As for gunplay, if I can try to find somebody, I can show you guys. So when you get into a gunfight, I can't really represent this with bots, but it really does feel even. Like, no one had a real clear advantage based on their gun, if that makes any sense. Like, this was one of the more fair Call of Duties. Aim assist in this game, honestly feels lackluster at times, which was a big pet peeve of mine, because back when I played this game in its prime, I had really shitty aim, still kinda do. So, this game being, less with aim assist was low-key very shitty for me. But besides, the aim assist and the constant lag that this game would have sometimes, like some days the servers were unplayable, the multiplayer was really just basic, but it wasn't basic to where it was bad. It was, like back to the basics, like this shit is fucking good type of basic. But now let's look at zombies. Cold War zombies. It's a big love it or you hate it type of zombies, because some people hated this shit so much and some people loved it, and I was on the side that really liked this zombies. Let's take a look at the maps here. So we have Forsaken, which in my opinion is just mid. Murder to Toten, just good. Outbreak, ooh, Outbreak. This shit was so hit or miss. I thought this shit was fucking horrible, or I thought this shit was the greatest invention that Call of Duty has ever came up with. Fucking Cranked, which is D Machine and Firebase Z. I never really played it. I remember playing it and fucking hating it. That's why I was the biggest Firebase Z fan out there, bro. I literally overplayed this map so hard that my friends genuinely would not want to play Cold War Zombies with me. But I loved Firebase Z so much because it was basic, it was grindy as fuck, had good bosses and good Easter eggs, and wasn't hard. But on the other hand, I fucking hated D Machine. And don't get me wrong, it's a cool fucking map, but I am a big person of simplicity, and I'm sorry, shit was just a little too much for my smooth brain. And then Dead Ops Arcade, which I do not have installed. Looking at the perks, if I can find them. We have, pretty standard perks, nothing too crazy. PhD Slider, though, fucking amazing. I think PhD Slider is so much better than PhD Flopper. And then you got Mule Kick and, Juggernaut, Speed Cola, and Quick Revive. The biggest thing about Cold War, like if you were to define Cold War with one word, is it was simple. This game was admirably simple, and that's why it was so good.